Alright guys, want to take this Mr. 360 Beast video. He talked about how great Madden is. Nothing against him, but we're all trying the same thing here to improve the game. Show you some things I saw on this play. Apologize about the grain of quality. It's a poor rip from YouTube. So it's an inside run. I don't like how the center shifts like that in the beginning, but this defensive tackle is just kind of ridiculous. I don't know why he's sliding. He's not looking at Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson isn't juking. This is just a situation where I guess there's a random animation playing out. Completely unrealistic there in terms of what happened. Go over here, take a look at the wide receiver defensive back interaction. Major motion shifting here to get this lane open up. This should actually, I believe, be an outside run, but this type of motion shifting to me unacceptable, unrealistic. Another thing I want to point out, this linebacker right here, you can see he's coming down to fill the gap. Now why all of a sudden he decides to turn his shoulders the other way is beyond me. Why he wouldn't pursue properly instead of turning his shoulders to the opposite sideline, I'm a little confused. Now, one thing I want to make a note about, the run itself is something that 360 Beast talks a lot about. To me, I want you guys to notice where this is on the field because it's roughly at the line of scrimmage. Now when we go back and you take a look at just the disarray of these two lines, everyone's standing up, no one's interacting, everyone's pursuing. This isn't how I see football being played out on Sunday. There's usually contact. Now something else, he's talking about is this animation and Chris Johnson running. Well, this isn't a specific animation to Chris Johnson. Anybody could do this. I want to point out the safety over in the left-hand side of your screen because he should be pursuing Chris Johnson right now, who at this point is actually stopped on the field. It actually looks like maybe he's looking. I don't like the fact that he's cutting into a hole that he actually can't see. That doesn't make much sense unless you want to get blindsided. So again, he's talking about how great this is, but again, he's cutting between two tackles, actually a tight end and a tackle, that are standing up, which isn't really all that realistic because the line is in disarray at this point. This maybe has something to do with Locomotion, but again, Locomotion really isn't helping us out because this is where a trench battle should be played out. Now, we're going to talk about pursuit angle. Okay, well, something I want to take a look at real quick is where this safety is on the field. Keep in mind Chris Johnson has cut back across the field. You can see that on the hash mark. When we go back and look at where the safety was before, you're going to see that ultimately he's almost on the same hash mark, which I don't understand. He should be pursuing Chris Johnson in the lane, nowhere else. As you see, they're roughly the same hash mark when Chris Johnson was squared up. Now, he's talking about a pursuit angle. Well, something I really don't like about this pursuit angle from this point forward is the safety basically cuts over to run in a straight line. That's not an angle at all. So sure, maybe speed and agility and acceleration are factoring into the game, but why the safety takes such a god-awful route, and you'll see it a bit more clear right there, why he all of a sudden alters his line straight as opposed to one complete angle is beyond me. So again, I understand he wanted to make the game look good and point out some things, and yes, there are some positives in this play, but overall there's a lot of things I see breaking down football in a football play, in a football, formation in terms of X's and O's. There's a lot of things that go very, very wrong on this play, and I just think that needs to be brought up too. I mean, sure, he can bring up the positives, but you know what? There's a lot of fundamental football things done very wrong on this play that I think he overlooked, trying to make the game look maybe a little better than it is.